What's up, y'all? This is boy Charles. Check out this video. Hit that thumbs up button. If I can find the video, I'm always, let's go ahead and play this video, y'all. Come back, my reaction.
To the storyline of Black people in America, it has been one of obstacles, triumphs, and oppression, mainly filled with a reminder of being excluded from the top. Now, many other races had to deal with an identity crisis, the war on drugs, systematic welfare, poor education, poor healthcare, housing discrimination, wealth gaps, and more. This conditioning of a people can create a lack of self-esteem, so when given the opportunity to find a sense of value, it's worth so much more. Hollywood, for a few selected, has become a path to overcome the obstacles just mentioned. However, it appears that being Black in Hollywood comes with a hidden contract, the one-strike rule. Wow. In 2019, Jonathan Majors would find himself in the lineup of up-and-coming leading Black actors when he would hit the screens in the Joe Talbot film, The Last Black Man in San Francisco. Soon after, he would then star in the HBO series Lovecraft Country, followed by Netflix's The Five Bloods and The Harder They Fall. At the top of 2023, Jonathan Majors was not only the biggest rising Black actor, but he was easily the hottest upcoming actor. By appearing in the hit films Ant-Man and the Wasp and Creed 3 in theaters simultaneously.
Yeah, him in magazines and the whole nine. Hit that thumbs up button, y'all.
Majors was on top of the world. Fast forward to December 19, 2023, he would find himself guilty of reckless assault in the third degree and guilty of harassment, with his ex-girlfriend being the victim. And in less than 2 hours after it was announced that he was found guilty, Major then would be fired by his biggest client, Marvel, for the role of Kang and their future projects. This quick firing would spark his own controversy, causing many to point out the hypocrisy of Black superstars versus their counterparts. It appears that second chances don't apply for Black stars in Hollywood. Unlike Hugh Grant, who solicited a prostitute, Vince Vaughn, who was arrested for public fighting, Robert Downey Jr., known for his extensive
I forgot about that.
Drug use, Mark Wahlberg, who was arrested for assault, and Sean Penn, who assaulted an extra on set. Despite these examples, Majors may have overlooked his warning sign. Before Jonathan Majors, fellow actor Nate Parker would face a similar path, one where his personal life would derail his career. Despite being found not guilty, the one-strike rule looks to still have been applied. While promoting his film 2016, Birth of a Nation, the story of Nat Turner, it was revealed that Parker, nearly 17 years before the film in 1999, would be accused of rape, along with co-writer of the film Jean-Michel Celestin at the age of 19, while both were students at Penn State. Parker would later be acquitted after going on trial and received a not guilty verdict, and Celestin would originally be found guilty, but years later that would get overturned after an appeal. As the information of his past began to circulate, it appeared that Parker's path as the next Denzel, due to his roles in films like Pride, The Great Debaters with the real-life Denzel Washington, Red Tails, and Beyond the Lights, was soon coming to a halt. Things would slow down even further when it was revealed that his accuser would kill herself back in 2012. During an interview with Anderson Cooper for 60 Minutes, Parker would face the allegation.
So they trying to blame that on him, like he destroyed her. That chick had mental problems already.
But due to his response not being empathetic enough for some, allowed the derailing to push ahead. The following morning, Parker would speak with Robin Roberts to again face the noise, where while slightly annoyed, would again maintain his innocence.
Feel the empathy, that they don't feel that you have any remorse.
Who are we talking about?
He didn't do it.
What we're talking about is what happened in 1999. The woman who is now deceased, who took her own life.
I was on 60 Minutes last night. We talked about it, 3 days out. I think the important thing is that, this isn't about me. The story of Nat Turner as American people, to know the story about a man who was erased from history. At some point, I think that's where our focus should be, especially now.
It can't really be, I'm sorry, it can't just be dismissed, what happened. You have to be addressed.
And I've addressed it so many, so many times. Did you see the 60 Minutes last night?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and I addressed it with Anderson. I talked about that last night. You know what I mean? It's a.
Not everybody saw last night. This morning.
I'm not going to go right back.
Okay.
I was proven innocent, and I'm not going to apologize. For that.
You didn't
I
do
feel
it.
terribly about that situation.
For the context of this story, it would be later found out that Parker's accuser would be a white woman named Julia Parker.
That's her.
In reaction to Majors' assault accusations, many would highlight race as a factor on why Majors was in his current situation as well. The history of white women accusing Black men of false accusations has been at times seen through history. Parker's decision to not showcase guilt for Hollywood and mainstream media would be a roll of the dice, as it's known that America can better digest black men on their knees. Parker's highly anticipated film would crumble in front of the cameras, as his personal life became,
wow, can better digest black men on their knees. That's some powerful stuff. Wow.
the biggest story. The near investment of $17.5 million by Fox Searchlight for A Birth of a Nation would be the company's largest investment for a film and would be set up to not make profit due to the controversy. For Hollywood executives, this would add a strike against the once hailed actor. Parker's narrative would change in an instant from next to next please. Hollywood has to be remembered as show business. Since its early days when they would invest in stars and control their names, personal lives, and career, Hollywood's intention was to generate and protect their assets, which is why the question of do black stars get a second chance is fair to ask.
Nope.
It is a fact that Parker would be ruled not guilty in a court of law, and even his white counterparts who were found guilty of crimes and accusations seem to have recovered their careers and moved on. Parker's last noteworthy film dates back to 2019 for the project American Skin, with a budget of just $5 million and would be given a video-on-demand release. While promoting the film, Parker would reflect on his response to the controversy. 3 years ago, I was pretty tone deaf to the realities of certain situations that were happening in the climate, and I've had a lot of time to think about that, and I've learned a lot from it. And being tone deaf, there were a lot of people that were hurt in my response in the way I approached things. I apologize to those people. It appears that Hollywood doesn't go the extra lengths to increase the shelf life of black stars. Is it because they should be thankful for being at the table, or is it a reflection of the psychology of their consumer, white America, not having empathy for black failures?
Right.
Likely who would work with both stars would appear to be empathetic to Parker's troubles. In an interview with Variety, Lee would explain why he would decide to continue supporting Parker. He explained to me the growth he had gone through and also the pain. And when he said that, I said, "Come on, brother, I'm with you. That's why I'm here."
Wow.
One user on the collate would bring everything together by writing, "I feel like Jonathan Majors is getting all the roles Nate Parker would have got."
Yeah.
It is unknown how close Majors and Parker are, but they would share a moment together before Majors' latest scandal back in July of this year. And it makes you wonder, did Nate ever get a chance to warn Jonathan of his mishaps? And how important it is to guard your personal life the more your profile grew. Until then, we all will see if Major stops at one strike or if he'll be given a second chance.
Nah, he's done, dude. He's done, man. I hate to say it, but that started the Comedy Hype. That's from Comedy Hype. Check out their YouTube channel, guys. That's where I got the video from. They're a really good channel, black-owned media channel. That's what the basis is today. I hate to talk about race, but I want to play that video. And I just said Comedy Hype is a black-owned media channel. Support that channel. Subscribe. That's what we need. We need our own. And when I say media, see, when people say media, a lot of people think that media is. Let me break y'all down what media is. Media is audio, television. It's like music. Music is media. It's not just the news. It's movies. Movies is a form of media. That's media. TV. That's media. It's not just the news. I learned this later. I thought media meant like, oh, it's just the news. Good Morning America, CNN. That's media. No, it's media is everything that you can see visually. Social media. That's why they call Instagram social media. It's media. Anything that you look at and consume with your mind and your eyes, that's media. That's why we have to own our own media, because you can push all kind of narratives. Nate Parker made that movie about Nat Turner. And for y'all who don't know who Nat Turner is, look up who Nat Turner is. He made that movie about Nat Turner. Nat Turner was actually a real person. He led the first slave revolt, but it was a bunch of other slave revolts, and he pretty much like turned on his slave masters and like went on this. Him and a group of other slaves were like revolting. They were not trying to be like this is not right. We ain't supposed to be enslaved, and they revolted. And he pretty much, I seen the movie. The movie's a good movie. He went and he killed the slave masters. You know what I'm saying? Some of the scenes are pretty graphic, but it was a movie that he was trying to get put into. He was trying to get studios to buy it, but the studios didn't want to put their money towards it. They're not going to make a movie about white people rising up. I mean, black people rising up against white people in slavery. They always want to put us like, please, master, don't hit it, like real subservient. And if there's a hero, it's a white savior, like in 12 Years a Slave, it was Brad Pitt who freed the guy. They don't want it where we're fighting back. You know what I'm saying? They don't they don't want that media out there, because then that media, let me tell you something. People watch, that's what media does. Eddie Griffin talked about this. It's more than just entertainment, y'all. You start to think a certain way. When you start thinking a certain way, they don't want that. So they don't want certain things shown. That's why when Nate Parker went with this movie to the actual studios, they didn't want to put money behind it. They're like, nah. So he put up his own money and did it independently. And then he sent it to Sundance and all these other, film festivals, and it blew up. And when it blew up, then all the studios want to come along and put their money behind it and buy the rights for the movie to put it out into major theaters. Well, while that hype was going on about the movie being so good, they dug up the news media who don't, they dug up, wait a minute, because they saw when that movie became big amongst before it even got released amongst the indie community, the studios want to look to see what's the big hype about. So studios went in to go view this film that everybody's talking about that was a big hit at Sundance that Nate Parker directed and funded. And a lot of them were mad about how he had this slave revolting and killing these white people. They was mad, so they went and dug up a story about Nate Parker, a story that this situation happened between him and that girl happened 10 years ago at a party. And the girl said it didn't happen. She said it did not happen. The girl had mental issues. They didn't dig deep into that girl. That girl had a lot of issues. And Nate Parker was dating that girl and he slept with her. And I think they ended up breaking up or something. And then she came back years later and said that he did, she came back and said that I think he tried to break up with her or something. And then she turned around and said that he, raped her, because they know that's what's going to get your brother in trouble, right? The poor defenseless white woman got, raped by this black. So I think what happened was he tried to break up with her, and then she said that this happened. And she turned around and said she recanted. They did evidence and found out it was consensual. He had witnesses, all kind of stuff, and then he got acquitted of it. Fast forward, that was 10 years ago. Meanwhile, he done a bunch of studio films. He was the talk of the town. They had praised Nate Parker to be the next Denzel. They really had groomed him to be the next Denzel. He was in all kind of stuff. He even did a movie with Denzel. They was trying to pass the torch, like this is going to be the next Denzel. Kind of resembles him, a young Denzel. If you put like Glory and him, he kind of got not the look, but the same type of swag, that Denzel swag. Nate Parker had that. And another thing, Hollywood doesn't want a black playboy. You're not going to be like Brad Pitt. You're not going to be like before Brad Pitt got married. You're not going to be like Leonardo DiCaprio, who's still a Hollywood playboy. Although I think they're starting to really look at Leonardo DiCaprio as being kind of creepy because he's getting older now. It was cool when he was in his 30s and his 20s dating models, but now that you're pushing 50, they're like, you still trying to date 25-year-old models? You know what I'm saying? They kind of look at you but nevertheless, ain't nobody complaining about it. That's what Leo does. George Clooney, he was a Hollywood playboy for the longest, sleeping with all different women, and they always want to make him out the Hollywood playboy, just be with all these women. Look at this stud. They make it like a good thing. But when we do it, he's a deviant, he's a sexual predator. You know what I'm saying? They don't like a black hunk. That's why Michael B. Jordan better look out, because they done took Nate Parker. Because he was groomed to be the Hollywood hunk like Denzel. He's gone. Manager fired him. Publicist fired him. Jonathan Majors, as you can see, he was the big. Remember, he was all on. They showed the men's magazine he was on. Every time he would come out, ooh, he fine. Ooh, look at his body. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, people, and he even mentioned this, that he didn't really start getting looked at by women until he started working out. He said when he was just a skinny guy, the nerdy guy, women were checking for him. There's pictures of him when he first got into the game. He was young, real skinny, no muscles. But so his publicist fired him. As you can see, Disney dropped him. You know what I'm saying? And once you get dropped by Disney and Marvel, because Disney owns Marvel, and that's put out throughout the circulation that you've been dropped by this big major studio, no agent is going to want to touch you. They're not going to want to touch you. I'm out here in LA. I work. They're not going to want to touch you. A studio that big, that means anything that comes across because that takes money out their mouth, because their salary is based on the work they get you. And if a big major conglomerate like Disney and Marvel dropped you, what other studio is gonna want to do business with you when this big ass conglomerate dropped you? He was on, I think he was on a bunch of different stuff they had lined up for him with Marvel. Some big budget, big $100 million. Marvel, they starting budget is $100 million. It's Disney. With Disney behind them too, they starting budgets are $100 million. And you got dropped by them. No agent's gonna, I can't get you. And if they bring something across to me, I can't hit you for it because they dropped you. And then that's money on the table. What if they give them, $20 million, budget to, we need a black actor to play this, we're offering them $10 million. Then the agent can't shop you for it because they dropped you. So that's 10%. I could have got that $10 million. For most, because they get 10%, I think, right? The agent, 10, 15%. So that's 10% of 10 million. That's a lot of money. So they can't make money off of them. So yeah, Jonathan Majors done. So like I was saying, Michael B. Jordan, he's next. If he needs to get him. Here's what he needs to do. He needs to do what Denzel and Samuel Jackson did. Get married. Find you a black woman and get married to her quick. They're not going to let you be. You see, they already done charged him. You seen that car accident? He had a car accident last week. Michael B. Jordan in his Ferrari, racing down Sunset against another Ferrari, and he wrecked it. Wasn't drunk or anything, right? It was just, they're going to charge him for that accident. He wasn't even intoxicated. So they working on him next. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to be a straight heterosexual, young, fit, handsome black male, strong male, and think you're gonna be around here just sleeping with all the white women and all the black women and getting all the women. No, this Hollywood, the game is reserved for them. That's what I'm saying. It goes back to, we got to have our own media. Shout out to Tyler Perry. It needs to be more Tyler Perrys, more female Tyler Perrys. You see what I'm saying? We got to have our own. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense why Diddy and all these other, well, I guess not Diddy, people like Oprah, people who have big money can't pull that Michael Jordan, pull their money together and start their own media conglomerate to be competition to these people, man. You know what I'm saying? We have we have to run to them for everything. You know what I'm saying? And brothers, I'm about to close with this. Leave they women alone. History has shown time and time again what happens to us when we mess with they women too tough. I mean, you love who you love, right? But especially when you get home. A lot of these brothers be stuttering. A lot of these brothers that are getting caught up with these white women, they probably never got with us, never got with them before. They probably never in their life until they got famous or got a basketball contract or got a record deal. You know what I'm saying? When they became millionaires and you became famous, then you started dabbling with the, other kind, so to speak. That should show you right there. She's with you for what you are, for what you got. She's not with you for you. Let me tell you something, man. If I ever blow up, no, I'm not gonna say if I ever. When I blow up, you gotta speak in the position. When I get as big as like a Charlemagne the God or some shit like that, and one of them be in my face, I'm already gonna know, because they don't mess with me at all. At my different jobs I worked on, it's been clear that they do not find me attractive at all. So I can't be disillusioned when I get on to be like, and then one of them coming, when then one is all in my face. oh wow, they like me now. Just all they've always liked me. No, they haven't. I'm gonna be like, all right, Amber, you okay? No, I'm good. I'm good. No, don't close that door and have a meeting with me because you ain't finna get me caught up. And if we gonna have a private talk, somebody gotta be here videotaping it. It's a camera in my office. So everything's being videotaped when I'm dealing with your behind. You see what I'm saying? No, we can't go on a date. Because I'm gonna know y'all didn't mess with me before, so I know what you're trying to do. And I don't see why brothers don't get that. You know, and Michael B. Jordan's another one. He loved the vanilla sisters, so to speak. That's what I'm saying. Michael B. Jordan better be careful. But then brought Nate Parker, Jonathan Majors is done. You cannot be a black Hollywood playboy. They do not like that. You got to be either gay, nerdy, or like nerdy and unsexy, like a like what's that one guy who's complaining? What's that one guy complaining? I shouldn't say he's complaining. He's talking about him going broken by actors not getting paid what they should get. I forgot that boy's name. He used to wear the dresses. He's actually a good actor too. Billy Porter. You got to be like him, or you got to be like Al Roker, or a somebody that you have to be very unattractive, very nerdy and non-threatening to, why do you think Will Smith got married so fast? He didn't want to be the Hollywood playboy because he knew his career would have been short. That's why he got married. That's one of the reasons why he got married to Jada so fast. You can't be a single black man think you're going to rise to the top in Hollywood. That's why he wanted to keep the separation secret, because he already knew. You can't be the single Hollywood black playboy. You can't be that. They're going to bring you down. You can't do that. That's what I'm saying. Michael B. Jordan need to go ahead and get him a sister, get married, and lock it down if he wants to continue in their game to keep getting those big budget million. Why you see? Look at Denzel. When he got into the industry, he was married, stayed married. Look at Samuel Jackson. When he got into the game, he was married. Come on now. And there's local, and then they keep doing big movies, big budget movies. You gotta lock it down. You can't be a George Clooney. You can't be a like I said, Leonardo DiCaprio. We don't get second chances. Robert Downey Jr. You seen they saw Robert Downey Jr. was a mess. He should have been exited out of Hollywood back in the 90s. I remember seeing him on the news every other week. He broke in people's houses. He was a crack. He was a crack. He was a drug head. He was a junkie. And look at him now, $100 million films. Still they don't let their people fall. They do not let their people fall because it's their game. That's why we got to create our own. That's why I need you guys to subscribe to my channel, Charles in Israel. Because if I get that big, I would want to get something going like that, man, with a big $100 million film produced by only black people, paying black actors and actresses big, good, those $20 million salaries for one picture. That's what I want to do. Let's get to that point. But they ain't gotta be like Taraji on the news crying. They ain't paying us enough. Shout out to Taraji, but I'm just saying that's sad. And I blame us as men. Why we ain't built nothing for this sister, so she ain't got to go over there? Why we haven't built our own Paramount Pictures or MGM? Tyler Perry started it. If he can do it, we can do it. Start our own thing, but he can't do it all on his own. Start our own. It should be a bunch of Tyler Perry and Tyler Perry's studios all over the place. So we ain't got to be on. They ain't paying. This woman, Taraji, being in the game. Her first big movie which I think was Baby Boy. She'd been in other small films, but her first big breakout role was Baby Boy. I was in college when that shit came out. I remember going to see him with my homeboy Forrest. Shout out to my homeboy Forrest. We went to go see it. A bunch of us went to go see Baby Boy. When I was in college. That was big John Cena. We both, we all were going to, art school. We was all into John Singleton. And that was her first movie. That was, how long ago that was? Over 20 years ago almost? 18, 19 years ago? So it's like, probably longer than that, about 20 years ago, right? And you still ain't, and you see on here crying, still ain't getting paid what you deserve after 20 years of your profession? Come on, man. That's why we have to build something. We have to have our own, man. They always, that whole blah, 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 everything's, we all want to, We all equal. This is one America. That's just a publicity stunt, man. That's all that is. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna be rambling on too long. What y'all think about this video and what the whole thing with Jonathan Majors? Leave your comments. Subscribe to Charles in Israel. Take care.